I don't feel so good.
Hey, how's it going? My name is Jack Nelson. I've been boxing for the past year and a half now. Today I'm going to be teaching you some of the basics of offense in boxing, including punches and combination punching. So first things first, if you want to box, you want to have to know how to properly stand. If you're right-handed, you'll stand what's called the orthodox stance, which is having your left foot out in front of your right foot while leaving a good 2 to 3 feet between them. Remember, keep your left hand out from your face just a bit while keeping your right hand back at your cheek. If you're left-handed, you'll stand in the southpaw stance, which is pretty much the same as the orthodox stance, just have flipped from having your left side out in front to the right side. After you've gotten into your stance, get a little bend in your knees and stand on the balls of your toes. This will allow you to move faster and to get more power out of your punches. Alright, so you're in your stance, you're feeling good. I think that it's about time that you start hitting some things. Before I unleash you on the bag, however, there's a couple things that you need to know. 1. Keep your chin tucked at all times. This makes it harder for you to be knocked out by making the chin harder to hit and by limiting how far your head can turn. 2. Always exhale when you punch. This tightens your core, which helps give you more speed and power out of your punches, and it braces you for potential counter shots to the body. 3. Always have one hand by your face at all times. When one hand goes to work, the other one stays at home. Finally, and most importantly, stay loose and enjoy yourself. The more relaxed you are, the more fluid your movements will be, and the more speed and power that you'll get out of your punches. Alright, the first punch that you need to learn is the jab. This is by far the most used and the most important punch. Without a jab, you have nothing. The jab is fabulous for setting up shots and combinations, gauging distance, and it's the safest punch to throw. The jab is done with the lead hand, or the hand that is out in front. For orthodox fighters, this is the left, and for southpaw fighters, this is the right. First things first, you've got to get the footwork down. With the jab, you're going to pick up your lead foot slightly off the ground and move it forward, while at the same time pushing off with your rear foot. As for the actual punch itself, you have a couple of options. You can throw the jab with the horizontal fist, which is done by twisting your fist so that the back of your hand is facing you, and then throwing your hand straight out. Or you can jab with the vertical fist, which is pretty much just throwing your hand out from your stance without turning your fist at all. While jabbing, make sure that you don't flare out your elbows, as this will make it easier to see your punch, and for every punch that you throw, never pull your punches back before throwing them, and always bring your hands directly back to your face after punching. Next up, we have the cross, which is done with the rear hand. This punch is the most common punch that you'll see after the jab, and the footwork of the cross is pretty simple. Just turn your rear foot inward, as if you're trying to show your opponent your butt cheek. The actual punch itself is also pretty simple as well. All you need to do is twist your fist so that the back of your hand is facing you, and then throw the punch straight out. And just like the jab, make sure that you don't flare your elbows out. After the cross, you have the hook, which can be done with both hands. The hook is usually used at short to medium range and is used to attack your opponent's guts, get around your opponent's block, and for twisting your opponent's head. There are 2 types of hooks that can be thrown with both hands, a tight hook and an open hook. The footwork for both types are the same, however, and all you have to do is the same footwork for the cross for both rear and lead hooks. Where they differ, however, is how they're thrown. The tight hook is thrown by jacking your elbow up so that it is perfectly horizontal and then using your footwork to slam your fist into your opponent. This type of hook should only be used when you're very close to your opponent, and it should only be thrown to the head. The open hook, however, has more range and can be thrown to the head or to the body. The open hook is thrown by keeping your fist turned so that your thumb is facing you, and straight from your guard, launch your hand straight out, and as you turn with your footwork, snap your hand into your opponent. This helps with getting behind your opponent's guard, and if you miss, this allows your hand to come right back to your body instead of wildly going to the side. Next up on our list is the uppercut, which is used to lift up your opponent's chin. This punch can also be thrown by both hands, and it has a couple of variations. The first variation is the traditional uppercut, which is used at extremely short range. The footwork of the traditional uppercut is exactly the same as the hooks, and when you throw the traditional uppercut, turn your fist so that your palm is facing you, and then from your guard, drive your fist upwards. Before throwing the punch, do not pull your fist down. This is easy to see and will cause your opponent to move before you even have time to throw the punch. The second variation on the uppercut is my personal favorite, the straight uppercut. This variation has the same range as the jab and the cross while still lifting up your opponent's chin. The footwork for the straight uppercut variation is the same as the traditional uppercut for the rear foot, but the lead straight uppercut has the same footwork as the jab. To throw the straight uppercut, first turn your fist so that your palm is facing you, and then shoot your fist straight out. Alright, so you know a thing or two about throwing your hands, but this doesn't mean anything if you can't put these punches together. This is where you enter the beautifully painful realm of combination punching, or throwing multiple punches consecutively. The point of combinations is to set your opponent up for heavy shots by making them react in certain ways. This can be done by making your opponent block a certain area, causing them to expose another area that you can hit, by hitting them with lighter punches that make them more vulnerable to heavy punches, or by making them move or slip in a way that allows you to slam a punch into them as you try to move. Some basic but effective combinations include the jab cross, double jab cross lead hook, jab lead hook cross, and lead uppercut cross lead hook. While throwing combinations, here are some things to always avoid. 1. Never start a combination off with a rear hook or uppercut. Your opponent will see this coming from a mile away, and you may not finish the combination with as many teeth as when you started. 2. Don't use the same combination over and over. Your opponent will get used to the combo and learn how to react to it. 3rd, don't always throw to one area. Attack both the head and the body to trip up your opponent. 4th, don't throw combinations that just don't make sense. An example of this would be throwing a hook and then an uppercut. If you hit your opponent with the hook, you have moved their chin, meaning that your uppercut will have nothing to hit. So please, don't be that person. Alright, this concludes my video on offense. Please be sure to check out my next video on defense.